Hello students, let us understand the Unit 5 last chapter, web designing and programming. In that we have the first topic, why we have to use PHP and MySQL. PHP stands for Hypertext Preprocessor. PHP is an open source, cross-platform and a free scripting language. MySQL is also open source and a free query language. Now with the help of these both, combining these both, we can build beautiful websites. The websites can range from a small website or to a large corporate professional websites. Let us see some of the advantages. Dynamic. We know that websites can be classified into two types, static website or dynamic website. Static websites are those wherein the user cannot interact with them. So with the help of PHP and MySQL, we can develop dynamic websites. That is, we can have websites wherein the user can interact with them. Next, ease of use. Now compared to other programming languages, PHP is a very easy language. That is, it is very easy to learn and also very easy to use. Next, HTML embedded codes. We have already seen how to write an HTML code. Now, when you write PHP codes, we do not have to maintain the file separately, or we do not have to create a separate file. We can include these PHP scripts or PHP code within our HTML program or within our HTML code. PHP is said to be very stable and a cross-platform language. By this, we mean that PHP is capable of working on different kinds of operating systems. It could be Windows, it could be Mac, it could be Linux. Next, ideal for e-commerce development. We have seen that we can build dynamic websites with the help of PHP. Hence, dynamic websites mainly contribute to e-commerce. So we can build a variety of e-commerce websites. Also, lot of customizations are possible with the help of PHP and MySQL. Next, cost effective. Since we know that PHP is cross platform, that is, it can work on different operating systems. Also, it can work on different kinds of hardware. So it becomes cost effective. Next, interoperability. PHP can work on various platforms. That is why it is uh, said to be portable. That is, you can create website on a particular system and then the same website could run on a different machine or a different server. So this is the advantage of PHP and MySQL. Now let us see how to add PHP script to our HTML code. We can see that the on the example here, the page that is started is with an HTML tag and ended with the HTML tag. But within the body of the HTML code, we are having a PHP script here. So this is an HTML page. So we have, this is the PHP script. The PHP code or the PHP script begins with this tag. You have to have the open it with a left angular bracket, question mark, and write PHP. And here you write the PHP script. After this, the PHP script is ended with a question mark and a right angular bracket. So this PHP script is included in this HTML page. Now, how do we declare variables in PHP? PHP variables are declared with $sign. Now here you can see we have declared three variables. After the $sign, you can make use of either an underscore or you can directly begin with alphabets or numbers. So now $txt is equal to hello world. This hello world is put in double quotes. So a string is all to indicate that a particular variable is a string, we have to put it in or mark it in double quotes. It is terminated by semicolon. The next two variables, that is $x equal to 5 and $y equal to 2.2, are of type numbers. Now PHP variable names are case sensitive. That is, uppercase variable and lowercase variable do not have the same meanings. So dollar this dollar $txt is having the value hello world. If I declare another variable dollar and capital txt, that is uppercase txt, both will mean different. But whereas the reserved words and the function names, reserved words, we know what are reserved words, like if, break. So these words and function names, the functions that we declare, are not case sensitive. So we have to remember that only variable names in PHP are case sensitive. Now PHP allows us to specify the comments in three ways. So single line comments can be specified with a hash or can be specified with slashes. Multiple line comments, we know, with a slash and a star, and are ended again with star and slash. Also, all the statements in PHP are terminated with semicolons. Now let us see how to install PHP on a system. So for that, we will make use of WAMP server. You can download the setup file of WAMP server from Google. So I have here three versions of WAMP. We shall stick to the second one. So you right click on this and say run as administrator. So all the privileges are given. Say yes. It is asking you whether this software should be installed. Say next. So you have to accept the agreement. Then only WAMP server is going to be installed. Now here you choose in which particular drive and folder you want to install the WAMP server. I will choose it in C drive. If you do not want it in C drive, browse and select some other driver. Say next. Okay, so the previous version of WAMP is already existing on my system. So now I will delete it and then we shall install this. Okay, so the WAMP, I've uninstalled the WAMP server. Say next. So now I want a desktop icon, that is a shortcut, and also after the WAMP server is installed, I want it to launch. Say next. Say install. So now it is asking us which browser you want to keep as a default browser for the WAMP server. By default, it takes Internet Explorer, but I do not want Internet Explorer. I will go for Chrome. So if you do not have Chrome and you have only Internet Explorer or you have Firefox, you can choose the browser of your choice. Now it is asking you for your SMTP and email. By default, it has these values. So just leave it as it is and say next. So our WAMP server is installed. Now here you can see the server has started and it is offline. It is still in green color. So here you have choice to put it online, to start all services, to stop and restart. So I will put it online. Now we can see the message server online. So let me just launch it. You have to click for localhost and phpMyAdmin is the database. So once you click localhost, this opens in the default browser that you have chosen. I had chosen Google Chrome, so in Google Chrome I have got this. Now here, since we have not created any projects, it has nothing to display here. Now here you can see PHP My Admin is the database. So this is how it looks. So if you want to create a new database, you go to this particular tab, you give the database name and say create. Now here you can see the database data1 is created. Here also in the left corner you are able to see the different databases. Click on data1, that is a database, and here you are allowed to create the tables. So let me create one table with the name students. It is asking me for how many columns, that is I will say 3 and then say go. Now it is asking for the different table or different column names in our table. So first one I will keep as ID, let it be of type integer. Next name, and then email. Type is the type of data, that is here I'll choose varchar. Here also I will choose varchar. Now we have to specify the length, maximum up to how many characters you want to or you're allowed to store here, and then say save. So now here you can see this is our table and here is the database. So now once this is over, you have to close the WAMP server, put it offline and close before you shut down or log out of the system. So I will just say stop all services. So this is how to install the WAMP server.